This is Joy News Prime.
This is Joy News Prime here on Joy News on Multi TV. My name is Israel Lai. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, Ghana Health Service Director General proposes decentralization of health care system as a way to end the frequent strikes plaguing the sector. Meanwhile, the New Patriotic Party is appealing to the Ghana Medical Association to call off its industrial action and return to the negotiating table, while also asking government to sit up and resolve the sector's challenges. 2 dead, another critically injured in gas explosion at Amanfro. Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit vows to revive case of a young girl who was defiled by her own biological father for years in a relationship that produced a son. And President Mahama urges all Ghanaians to contribute to the drafting of the country's 40-year development plan so it will reflect the aspirations of all. Also coming up is business, sport and international news. Joy News Prime is available across Europe on ABN television. In our very first story, the New Patriotic Party has appealed to the Ghana Medical Association to call off its industrial action, which has left patients stranded at public health facilities across the country. The GMA last week announced its members will stop offering outpatient services as a first phase of an industrial action they say will lead to their resignation en masse in protest of the lack of a comprehensive document embodying the conditions of service of public sector doctors. General Secretary of the NPP, Kwabena Jepong, at a news conference on Tuesday, urged the doctors to return to post while charging government to sit up and address the challenges currently facing the country's health sector.
Ghanaians and those who are afflicted and the poor, I think they are now working to rule, and we've heard of a few deaths so far already as a result of absence of medical personnel. And we want to plead with them to reconsider their position, but also to urge government to be more serious in the negotiations that they are undertaking. I think the conduct of the government has been shown. I mean, the leakages from the presidency about proposals that the doctors have sent to them, I think that was very unprofessional, and it's something that we can all not be happy about. And if you want public workers to have confidence in the negotiation machinery, then you don't treat their negotiating positions with scorn. You negotiate and make compromises. But where now they are being exposed to public ridicule and attacks, especially from government communicators and propagandists, I think this is a serious enough issue. We are talking about the health of the country. And this is a sector that is a major plank for our national development. And I think that the president should show more seriousness in the handling of this matter. And so far, I don't think that his response has been commensurate with the gravity of the situation that we face.
Well, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service is proposing the decentralization of the country's healthcare system as a way to end the perennial strikes by health workers. Dr. Ebenezer Piadentra was reacting to the several strikes plaguing the sector. Though he concedes he feels frustrated by the industrial disputes, he says the country's healthcare system is not on its knees, as is being suggested.
It's very disturbing. It's very disturbing because at the end it's also frustrating because you find that, for me, I always look at the outcome measure. The people that we say we are protecting, they are the people who are suffering. That is my major concern. The person in the street, the person in the home, and they are rather turn out to be suffering.
Okay, there are also criticisms that, as a service, Ghana Health Service, government, have not been pragmatic enough in dealing with this issue because it appears it's become a vicious cycle. Every year you have doctors or even pharmacists or nurses going on strike. Why haven't we been able to deal with this issue up till now?
Well, I must say that for me, I see the country is in a transition. Lower income to higher income country. And normally that transition means that you have to move more of government being an employer, major employer, to the private sector being the major employer. If you go to South Africa, you find that you see big businesses putting up big hospitals, And then Ghanaians or people from all over the world go there, and then the consultant will take a surgery, employ the management, employ nurses and so forth, the other staff, and the facility pays them. So it's not government doesn't come in. Government only regulates. So here we need to move in that direction where any major hospital built in the big city, for example, is managed by a private sector, like Senate Hospital. It's a big hospital. They are surviving. They see many people who go there, they are there. So that's how we should do.
Well, in some relief to the strikes in the country, nurses at Accra Psychiatric Hospital have suspended their sit-down strike after government assured them full payment of the outstanding salary arrears this September. Employment and Labour Relations Minister Harun Idrisu entered an agreement with the nurses Tuesday afternoon, pledging to ensure salaries of all nurses are paid into the accounts later September 30. The minister also agreed to sign an undertaking 2 weeks from now to bind him to his word.
At least by the end of September next month, all outstanding issues would have been cleared. When I say September, I want to be as sincere as possible. On my way here, I discussed with the Auditor General, which is doing an audit of the verification further. I've asked them to liaise with the Ministry of Health, HR Department. The Controller Accountant General is ready to start imputing and computing, finalizing your name for salary. I've even asked that particular attention be given to psychiatric nurses, because we're going to do for 6,000 nurses. That is being done. Indeed, as I'm speaking to you, the officer at the Auditor General office together with the Health Ministry HR are meeting. I've already had a word with Controller, and you must understand that this is purely a human resource problem.
The National Health Insurance Authority has decried the brazen attempt by some service providers to fleece it by submitting fraudulent claims. It says over 100 million cedis of such fraudulent claims were stopped last year. Monies, the NHIA says, would have been lost to the state, save for the effectiveness of its claims processing center. Anodame was with officials of the authority on a tour of the center and has this report.
The Claims Processing Center vouchers requests for payment brought in by service providers and clears them for payment only after they have been identified as genuine. Director of Claims Dr. Linda Johnny Selby explains the authority was compelled to establish the unit, realizing that almost all of its revenue goes into claims payments.
80% of our income goes into paying claims. So as an institution, the decision has been taken to really focus on getting that part right if we want to be financially sustainable.
Dr. Johnny Selby took journalists through the various units whilst explaining how fraudulent claims are detected and stopped.
You'll find that this claim is number 9. When you get to number 502, it's the same patient, same date, same diseases, but added again as if it's another case. You find same patient, Epu Amansa. She went to outpatient on the 14th of July, but there's an inpatient claim from the 12th to the 16th. So if she was in hospital 12th to the 16th, how did she attend an outpatient somewhere in the middle?
Deputy Director of Claims, Nicholas Afram Osei, was of the opinion the manual vetting of claims could also account for delays in payment.
A provider may see a patient, keep the claim for longer time, so that can also delay the process of it. Here, the claim don't delay.
Dr. Johnny Selby praised the Bole district in the northern region for being the only district in Ghana which has migrated all of its claims electronically.
I want to recommend Bole District Health Directorate. They have been able to put all their, even the CHIPS compounds, they have gone e-claims. And that is something that other district directorates should try and copy.
This year, 2 service providers have been prosecuted for defrauding the authority. For Joy News, I am Hannah Odame.
In other news, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly is continuing demolition of illegal structures in the city, with residents of Aigbe town near Jolu the latest to be affected. The AMA task force, together with security officials, pulled down hundreds of structures it says had been sited under high-tension poles in the area. Joy News' Ridwan Karim Dini Osman reports those affected are vowing not to leave until government compensates them.
Some Aigbe town residents looked on helplessly as the bulldozer destroyed what was one of their places of abode. Others struggled to salvage what they could from the debris. Hundreds were left homeless in the exercise supervised by city authorities and armed police. According to residents, the demolition was carried out after the expiration of a 14-day notice issued by the AMA. The structures destroyed were mostly wooden shacks situated near or directly below high-tension transmission cables and poles. Those affected said the notice by the AMA was not done with a human face.
When I reached work, I saw my phone is ring. I picked my call. He said, this thing, bulldozer and this thing, scatter my kiosk. I don't have any money to buy anything. That is the police there. This money, this beat my only mother. He beat my only mother too because of kiosk. I want to carry my kiosk. He said no. Why?
They can't destroy us. We are not animals. We are not animals. We are all human beings. We are all Ghanaians. Some of the Liberians, the refugees, they come, they find a place for them to sleep. What about we Ghanaians? What are we going? They are asking us, where did you want us to go? They tell us, or if we come for the parliament house, or they come to the place where the presidents are staying. If we come there, or if, see, a lot of people, about 5,000 people have from here to the top. Where are we going now?
They break everything. The only thing, the small thing we have, we just take them out. So everything, even you want to carry your kiosk, you say that, oh, that is my car, my brother car. I want to carry my kiosk. Go. They'll say no, don't touch it. That's the law they have here. So if you touch it, they'll beat you. Yeah. Even you take phone, you want to make call, they'll beat you well here.
Some residents are also demanding compensation for their property destroyed.
For now, nobody have money. We don't have money to go and rent a house somewhere, or to go and buy a house somewhere. We don't have money, so we don't know what to do. Only what we do, maybe we just sleep somewhere here for night. For sleeping out someone for night, anything can happen. To sleep someone for night, anything can happen. So the government to do something for us.
Okay, if I have money, I'll go my hometown. I don't have money to go. I don't have money to go right now. Why? She says that you come to write the name to give him money to go my hunter, but up to now you not give it 10 pesos. You not give it. This money I go work. People come here to scatter all this thing. See here. Nobody see this children. 2 days old. This children 2 days. How come?
A resident who couldn't hide her anger demanded answers from authorities.
And government land? If it's government land, who are the government? Me and you, we are government. We are government.
So what do you intend to do now?
Why do you take my land and give it to who? We will be here. We are going to be here because the land belongs to us. We are not refugees. Even in Syria, where they had problems, they gave them land outside. And they went into a certain country, the nearest distance. They gave them Tapolin and this. My own land, my own country. I become, even you are not providing. You have money. You have money to buy diesel, to fuel cars, to come and break down poor people. You don't have money to pay doctors. You don't have money to pay nurses. The psychiatric ward, the mad people are in town. They are in town. You see, there are serious matters that the government or AMA should think of, not this.
The AMA's decongestion exercise has already dealt with areas around Graphic Road, Aveno, Circle, Kukumlimli and Old Fadama. Redwan Karim Dini Osman, Joy News, Accra.
Also, 2 people have been killed in a gas explosion at Amanfrom, a suburb of Kaswa in the central region. The accident involving cylinders in use at an auto body workshop left another person seriously injured. Derek Ekosam has more in the following report.
Eyewitnesses say the explosion occurred when naked sparks from a grinding stone being used by welders at the shop came into contact with gas stored in cylinders at the shop. The accident is said to have been the 3rd at the shop this year, though the previous explosions were not fatal.
I was in a shop with a brother when we heard explosion, a very loud explosion, and the shop was very close to where I was. So when we heard the explosion, we got closer and we got to find out that there was an explosion of a cylinder explosion. So there were 3 guys in there working, and 2 of them died and 1 got very serious injury.
And you also have no idea what exactly caused the explosion?
What caused the explosion was that they were rubbing a certain number on the cylinder, and they were using a grinding machine. So a grinding machine also generates heat. So once it is a gas, and gas also doesn't go with heat, so definitely it will explode.
A visibly shaken Faustina Vugbedo, wife of 40-year-old Doji Ajia, one of the victims of the explosion, recounts her last moments with her late husband.
Oh, me I no pay or clam is so quick, man, or yeah, where they may be next level.
We ate breakfast together this morning, after which he told me he was going to the shop for his daily work. I heard the explosion while taking a nap, but I didn't budge because I thought it was a transformer close by.
Madrian said transformer neighbor to me cry Madrian Mahu. Tiana me bear me koya, Nimpo Banishanam, Samikuna Dawi, in a baby senor.
I later rushed to the scene, only to find my husband lying dead, with his intestines gushing out.
Said hospital.
The bodies of the deceased are said to have been taken to the police hospital morgue. Meanwhile, the scene of the accident was yet to be cordoned off, as at the time the news team was leaving, though officials of the National Disaster Management Organization and some police personnel had been there.
We're taking a break, but we have more stories coming up thereafter. Don't go away. President John Mahama has urged Ghanaians from all walks of life to contribute to the drawing up of the new 40-year development plan launched by the National Development Planning Commission. Delivering the keynote address to signify commencement of work for the plan, President Mahama expressed optimism the result will reflect the aspirations of Ghanaians.
President Mahama said massive participation in the consultation exercise will give it a true sense of the future of the country.
With the launch of this process, we commit to taking a critical look back to our record of national development, drawing important lessons from our achievements and our challenges alike. It is a process that should afford us the opportunity to have honest and open discussions of our aspirations as a people and what we need to do to realize these aspirations. As a nation, we have prepared and implemented various development initiatives over many years across many governments. Our national development agendas have often reflected short-term development priorities that tended to change from one regime to another. The process we're embarking on will yield fruitful insights and results. We're starting on a good footing by bringing together under one roof people from all walks of life and from all across the political spectrum, from different geographical, ideological, and academic domains and disciplines. Each and every one of us has something to contribute to the process by sharing our experiences, our aspirations, our resolve, and our commitment. At the end of the process, when we have all played our parts, we can be sure of our collective ownership of the outcome document.
President Mahama further urged them to, among other things, capture development plans to help strengthen institutions in the country.
Meanwhile, failure of successive governments to implement long-term plans is said to be the cause of the slow pace at which Ghana is developing. The chairman of the National Development Planning Commission, Professor Kwesi Bochwe, said this at the launch of their roadmap for the formulation of a 40-year national development plan for the country.
According to Professor Kwesi Bochwe, Ghana was once considered to be on a similar level as South Korea and Malaysia, and yet, while those countries have grown to become economic superpowers, Ghana has stumbled massively. Likening Ghana's development and advancement to Korea, Malaysia and Taiwan, and other economic superpowers of Asia, just after independence, Professor Bochwe said Ghana has lagged behind because of its failure to implement long-term development plans. He stated, developing and implementing a longer-term plan is the key to Ghana's success.
Ghana has lagged behind, while these other countries have flourished and achieved high income growth. Now, although the causes of this rather stark contrast are more complex than are often acknowledged, it is clear that the basic reason, one basic reason for this contrast, is the fact that these countries did implement successive national development plans with a certain degree of consistency.
The TUC, represented by its General Secretary, reiterated its long-held position that Ghana should shift from the free market ideology to an all-inclusive policy-based participation. For him, this will allay the fears of the Ghanaian workforce.
With the need to shift from the free market ideology to a more social-friendly economic and social policies which centralizes employment as a key driver of socio-economic development. We also see the need to recognize and support the family as the basic unit of society through social security and social protection measures, the need for an inclusive, participatory, and consultative approach to national decision-making.
Journalists are described as the fourth realm of the state. On this occasion, they were also represented. For the GJA, the vision for the next 40 years is a well-paid and well-informed journalist in the country and also well-sanitized airwaves. It is their hope that the plan, when completed, will be implemented. Manolante for Joy News, Accra.
An 18-year-old girl who was allegedly defiled repeatedly by her own father for several years has been speaking out about the incestuous affair which produced the baby. According to her, the defilement started when she turned 12. She got pregnant for her father, who took her to the hospital after her delivery to be put on a family planning method. Joy News' Beatrice Edu has been speaking with a young lady who believes the police have abandoned the case and allowed the father to walk free, even though the case was sent to court.
I'm 18 years old and I have stayed with my father for 9 years. I'm staying in a shelter, and whereby I had a case with my father. When I was born, my mother left me at the age of 3 months, and my mother gave me to my father's stepmother. So my auntie take care of me from that time to when I was 7 years. My father took over till when I was 17 years and I left my father. But within those years, I had a difficult time with my father. So many mothers came to take care of me, but I couldn't get help from them or love from any of them. But alongside the room, I stayed with my father alone, and whilst I was staying there, he maltreated me and sometimes tell me he will not give me when he's gone or when he's dead. He will not give me some of it. He will not write my name on his properties. He would rather give it to other siblings of mine. And when I turned to 12 years, my father started sleeping with me. And then when I was 15 years also, I was raped at school. And I told my father that day that I was raped at school. And that same day, he slept with me twice. And he sent the case to the police station. And from that day, I got pregnant, but I didn't know that I was pregnant. So when I was at the age of 16 and I gave birth to a boy, and from that time when I was pregnant too, my father was still sleeping with me for 5 good years. That was when I was 17 years. And then I turned off to the police that this was my father was doing to me.
Oh, you're claiming that before he had sex with you, he was treating you. What sort of maltreatment?
When maybe I go to him or when I play with friends, he doesn't want me to play with friends, not even my siblings, because if I go near them, he knows that maybe I might split the beans out to any of my friends or my siblings. So he doesn't allow me to have friends, much more, not even friends as girls or boys as friends. If he see me with them, he will beat me severely.
And how did this start?
He started when, I should say, he started this, I didn't know, when I am sleeping at dawn, this man goes to work and comes back late. So when he comes back, he used to worry me, take off my dresses, sometimes tell me not to wear anything to go to bed. But I didn't understand the issue. So sometimes he worries me with these things, sometimes shows the pornographic movies for me, but I didn't like the movie. I'd rather take the phone and throw it somewhere, but he will beat me if I do anything like that.
He was showing the porn movies on his phone for you to watch?
Either he'll show it on the phone or on the television. He used the deck to show those movies for me, but I didn't like it.
So the first day he had sex with you, what did he do?
I actually don't remember the first day, but I only know when I turned to 12 years, he started that with me, but I don't remember the actual day he started that.
Yes, but how did it happen the first day?
The first day, let me say, he came and started something like that, but he wasn't getting the access really, so he started that gradually before he got it.
And after you delivered, what happened from there?
He was still doing the same thing. When I got pregnant, he wanted me to go and abort it, but where we went to do the abortion, the doctor was saying that the tools that he has to do that were not good enough because the pregnancy was much older than his tools for him to do that. So then he stopped, and my prayers was also that he shouldn't do such a thing because I've never done it. Yeah, I had family planning. That was, I think, I took it off last 2 months, and I had it 1 year. It was 1 year last year, December 18th. I did that. He told me to go and let's go so that he will do it for me so that I'll be protected while not to get pregnant again.
The Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit says it has not abandoned the case. Acting Coordinating Director of DOFSU, ACP Habib Achumesi Sapong, told Joy FM's Super Morning Show Tuesday the police are still pursuing the case. He said although it is unfortunate the girl's father has been released on bail, the police is defenseless in that regard. We're bringing you business news next with Eton Amsey. Please stay tuned.
Business news. Time now for business. My name is Eton Amsey. Now, business confidence has increased marginally in the second quarter of 2015, recording 87.9 points, up from 85.0 points recorded in the first quarter. The Association of Ghana Industries, however, describes the increase as insignificant, explaining that the level is still below base index of 100 points. Chief Executive of the association said Chuma Kwabwa reiterates to Joy Business the current business environment does not encourage investment. According to the Association of Ghana Industries Quarter 2 Barometer report, the challenges of Ghanaian businesses still persist. Companies, according to the report, are still reeling under the pressure of the volatility of the exchange rates, erratic power supply, multiplicity of tax, access to credits, and the high cost of credit. Confidence level, according to the group, is still low. The report also captured the unstable level of the cedi and its impact on businesses. President of AGI, James Asare, is calling on government to, as a matter of urgency, find a permanent solution to the volatile nature of the cedi, describing it as headache for most businesses.
I remember
close to the end of June, the cedi to dollar by way of exchange rate was about 4.5. Then within 2 weeks, the cedi gains about 25% strength. Now, when we were about to jubilate, because we thought that the cedi was really gaining some strength, you saw between the last 2 weeks, the cedi has depreciated for another 17%. I mean, it's a scenario which I call a seesaw approach, of handling our cedi. The association reminds the Bank of Ghana, and for that matter, government, of the need for macroeconomic stability, and therefore calls for immediate institution of measures to stabilize the cedi, to save businesses from imminent collapse, and help boost business confidence in the economy.
The report sampled 500 companies across the country and covered all sectors of the economy, whether small, medium, and large companies. Meanwhile, AGI is also calling on government to create an economic environment where businesses can confidently price in cedis instead of dollars. Chief Executive of the association said Chuma Kwaba maintains businesses in the face of the current exchange rate will continue to price in dollars in order to stay in business.
I've asked that we need to have stability, because if you don't have stability, no matter how strong the cane you use to whip people to the line, if you don't have stability, compliance becomes very difficult and challenging. The reason being that if I have sold my goods and I've priced it in cedis as prescribed by law, as prescribed by the directive of Bank of Ghana, and then in 3 months time when I'm getting my supplies back, my creditors are going to pay me, and the cedi has depreciated, it means that the amount of money I'm getting for whatever goods are sold, I'm getting less of it. What happens to me? I'm making losses. So compliance is also determined by being able to achieve stability. That's the point we are making. So it's actually a major determinant for compliance.
And the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, says the lack of funds for it to monitor the use of oil revenues is inhibiting accountability in the oil and gas sector. Chair of PIAC's Communications Subcommittee, Yao Owusu-Addo, insists Ghanaians are losing out on oil revenues because the committee cannot fully fulfill its mandate of publishing reports on the use of oil revenues.
Ensuring accountability in the oil and gas sector, although crucial, remains a challenge. The difficulty is, however, compounded by the inability of PIAC, the institution set up to monitor and evaluate the use of revenues and report on them to public to ensure accountability. Chair of PIAC's Communications Subcommittee, Yao Owusu-Addo, tells Joy Business PIAC cannot deliver because it is broke.
And we should have published as far back as March 15th. We are out of desperation publishing it today on the website because we don't have the money. You understand, the budget given PIAC is not even able to run the institution, like paying the staff, and there are only 2 staff. I mean, if you ask for your budget and you are giving 12.5% of it, your budget, your bare budget that will do the ordinary things like including printing of the report, and you are giving 12.5% of it. Can you print anything or publish anything? And the mandate is to publish reports.
The Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, to help PIAC in its work, has therefore launched a website to help track the use of oil revenues and oil contracts.
Still on oil, the Africa Center for Energy Policy is raising issues with the Sankofa gas project deal. The project, to be carried out by ENI of Italy and Vitol Group of the Netherlands in partnership with GMPC, is expected to boost gas supplies to generate up to 1,000 megawatts of clean power. ACEP's Executive Director, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, is, however, questioning the gas prices negotiated with ENI. The gas price negotiated with ENI is $9.8 per million, higher than the average of between 4 to 5 million per million. Amin Adam argues with increased prices of gas, this is not the best.
Gas prices average per million BTU is about $4 to $5. Why will we negotiate 9.8 per million BTU? That is on the high side, because that's the price they will sell gas to us. But because we are hungry for gas to solve our power crisis, we went in for that.
Isn't it perhaps also because of the risk we carry as a country?
Yes, what is the risk here? The risk profile has significantly gone down because the commercial discovery has been announced. And so the risk is limited to gas sales arrangement. And to that extent, they have requested 5 different sovereign guarantees. And our sovereign guarantees are also being guaranteed by the World Bank, 700 million. It means that they don't even trust the sovereign guarantees Ghana is supposed to issue. The third issue, we are required to establish an escrow account. And GMPC's share of oil revenues is supposed to go to that account. And that will be used to pay for the gas sold to us.
That's how we wrap up with business. Many thanks for your time. My name is Eton Amse. Israelite has more. Please stay.
The sports segment is brought to you by...
Good evening, Ghana. Let's do some sports now and begin from the camp of Accra Hartlepool, where a lot seems to be happening as far as the coaching direction of the club is concerned, with only 5 games. We'll be looking forward to the arrival of this gentleman. Maybe, just maybe, he has the magic wand that would see Accra Hartlepool remain in the First Capital Plus Premier League. Let's move away from some football and build up to the All-African Games, which is scheduled to take place in Congo-Brazzaville later this year. Chef de Mission Saka Akwe tells Joy News that the team is going in for a big medal haul.
You know, we are the 5 stages. We are getting to the 3rd stage of our preparation. The first stage was qualifying series. The second stage was non-residential training. Now we are getting into residential preparation. Then we go into friendly matches. Then we go to competition proper, where we go to Brazzaville 1 week before the All-African Games to acclimatize and to make sure that we use the facilities to get ready for the All-African Games. And we are going to triple the medals that we won at the last All-African Games. Yes.
We'll see whether we're able to triple that. Meanwhile, Deputy Minister of Youth and Sports, Vincent Opon-Asamoah, is calling on corporate Ghana to support the team's plans ahead of the All-African Games.
Morning. I think you should even open the floodgate for other corporate institutions to come on board. You have decided to put your resources into a worthy cause. A worthy cause because sports, whilst we all indulge in sport, productivity will be enhanced, even in our workplaces. So you have done the right thing. We all urge other corporate institutions to come on board. We are sending a contingent of about 350, and you can imagine the costs involved.
We do some news on the transfers front now, and in the last couple of weeks, Ghanaian players have been moving clubs at a very, very rapid rate. The latest that we're hearing is and the millions of Ghanaians who will be looking forward to the English Premier League, which will commence later this weekend. Quite a number of Ghanaian internationals playing there. That's it for sports. The news continues.
The sports segment was brought to...
Residents of Klagono community along the Accra-Tema motorway are calling for increased police protection after armed robbers stormed the area, shooting 1 person. The robbers took away money and electronic gadgets while 1 person was shot. The landlord who is receiving treatment at the 37, the landlord who was shot is receiving treatment at the 37 military hospital. Joseph Opogugapo has more.
Armed robbers besieged the community at about 2 a.m. on Saturday, wielding guns and machetes. They attacked several homes, forcing residents to give up cash, jewelry, mobile phones, laptops, among others. They locked up some residents in their washrooms and in wardrobes as they committed the crime. Secretary of the Klagon Landlords Association, Benjamin Lati, says the situation has left them frightened.
Saturday one occurred around 2 a.m. So at 2 a.m. we received a call that armed robbers are around that time. So some of us when I came out, let's say for example, when I came out, I saw that no, it's true that the call I received, what they said is true. So immediately I came out, I saw that, I came out and I entered the room, I locked the gate. I saw that no, the robbers at my end over there, they broke the door, they entered the next house and they make out so many things.
The robbers shot and wounded the banker in the course of the operation. Residents say there have been frequent attacks on them, but the police haven't done much to bring the perpetrators to book. They want the police to patrol the area more frequently.
And that'll be all for the bulletin. My name is Israel. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good evening.
This is Joy News Prime.